And if you're on NS2HD, good day. Welcome back to NS2HD. It's a pleasure to have you watching there as well. And these two teams are getting ready to play again. I am joined by Digel Neshi, who is the modder upon modder, who along with Hughes has just added so much to Skycam that I could cry and hug him. Say hello, Neshi.
Hello.
Neshi, you are awesome. Hughes is awesome. And they've taken Deshawn's original Skycam mod and they've run with it. And it's just awesome. The competitive team's actually debating whether or not the commander should get P-Res, because after 8 to 10 minutes he can go Onos. What do you reckon about that, Neshi?
Yeah, that's a new effect of everything costing 2S on the AN side. We've actually had that situation when the sits were costing energy. So we're actually back to the same problem we had before.
Interesting, and the fact that the commander can go on us, I don't know though. I mean, I kind of like that. It's like a reward for the fact that you sat in commander the whole time. You can get out of the hive and explode out as an Onos. I mean, do you think that that's a thing we could balance in other ways, or just the fact that the commander can go on us is bad, full stop?
It's not necessarily all bad, but having a 6th player while the Marines only have 5 is definitely a big advantage. Even if the Marine commander can drop medpacks and the ANs cannot, I still think it's a big advantage to have an extra player on the field.
Yeah, definitely. It is big to have that 6th player come out. I mean, the Marines need to have an answer for that. I guess they don't. We are about to start though. Here we go. And you can see we are in a version of Summit that is using fixed spawns to give these Marines a chance with the current balance of Build 205, which does feel like it has improved since Build 204 with the new commander changes. Do you agree, Neshi, or do you think it's still the way it was?
It definitely has improved. The Marines have a lot more time now, or not necessarily more time, but the ins are slowed down a lot, and you can delay them more easily.
But look at this, 4 Skulks are going to absolutely decimate this extractor. From the word go, a huge attack by Exertus to open up this game. 3 of them are going to proceed in to put pressure on Marine start.
And the Marines are trying to return the favor with 3 Marines and Data Core going to Reactor now.
Although the base under attack, Yuki goes down there. Now there's 2 Marines spawning in. This is a crucial moment. They both need to spawn and kill TRC or this game will be over. Oh wow! TRC is just on fire and he finally goes down to Yuki.
Yeah, I'm not sure what Nadley is doing there.
Was he just waiting off? Oh, he probably didn't realize what was going on. Which is a shame. And the Marines have taken
I think they just
reactor.
went for the extractor because that's pretty safe.
Yeah.
They didn't really want to risk the game on this.
Absolutely.
No, actually, still holding a reactor.
Yeah, they're doing really well in here. They've taken the harvester.
So they're going for flight. There was no harvester in reactor core. They spotted the Marines early on and didn't expand in that direction.
Now I want to take a moment to give a little tutorial for any new players out there. At the start of the game, note that Ark put 1 Marine here, 1 Marine here, and 1 Marine here. This Marine is building, this Marine is covering, this Marine is scouting. And as soon as the Skulks were spotted, this Marine ran back to the cover of his mates. And that's a small thing that makes a huge difference in the early game. So try doing that with your mates on a server and see how it improves your initial contact with the Skulks. Extracted down in ventilation. Wilt Dog asks in the stream, any word on the shift upgrade? The shift is not imminent, I can say that. It's actually surprising. Here in the office, I mean, it's not like we've got some definite absolute schedule for all the features. For example, the exosuit is coming, the shift is coming. Both of them, they're coming and they will be soon. I mean, we're coming towards release, of course, but they're not imminent. Don't expect them in the next few weeks, but they're definitely coming and you won't have to wait too much longer for them.
Yeah, it's a bit surprising because Solarity has been in the game for like months now, but there's no balance work on it, and celerity definitely isn't all there is. So
absolutely, celerity is definitely not ready for prime time. That's one of the upgrades the shift will give. Celerity will allow aliens to run very, very quickly through the map, but they will not be fast in combat. So in NS1 we had a problem where newer players especially, and casual players, not so much competitive players, but casual, Harvester goes down in flight, but casual players who were just trying to have fun would get absolutely destroyed by skilled players who were going at 50 million miles an hour with celerity. So we want to retain the ability to move around the map quickly, but try and slow the aliens down as they hit combat. Sort of like the Onos gains speed right now, but as soon as he slows down in combat, he loses that speed. Because we want to maintain the game as an accessible game for new and casual players, while at the same time creating a really big skill ceiling for competitive players. And I think you're starting to see it. The difference between competitive and casual play is pretty big. Would you agree, Neshi?
yeah, definitely. The problem with the whole game is that you need to balance. You need not only to balance the overall damage or health values and stuff like that, you need to balance the scaling with skill.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, if the scaling isn't really balanced, if the Fate is much easier to get good at than the shotgun, then Fates will dominate public play, but won't dominate competitive play.
Yeah, it is a very tricky thing to balance, and I don't envy Charlie, who works tirelessly on his design doc and tweaking things in game to try and figure it out. It's not pretty.
Yeah.
But we are getting there, and balance is improving, and we will get there eventually. Wiry and Zeke. Oh, look at that fantastic Elmo hiding underneath the extractor, underneath there. Although this Marine is going to be able to shoot him out, so he's going to get found. But
yeah,
he
but
tried.
It's always great play to hide, because you're delaying the Marines a lot if you're doing it right. A very interesting map to do that on is Triad, because there's loads of areas like ventilation where I can just hide from Marines and delay them.
Hughes says I should tweet the stream. It is tweeted. It was tweeted on NS2HD and retweeted by NS2. So hopefully that's out there, unless something went wrong with TweetDeck. But I don't think it did. So let me know if that retweet is not showing up on NS2.
Okay, we have 2 Fates now.
2 Fades out on the field, and Marine pressure in Datacore gets shut down. The Marines have weapons level 1 and shotguns. Again, seeing the weapons. Oh, there's weapons level 2 are being researched right now.
Yeah, it's really strange. It seems to be new in this build. And you keep jumping down in curves.
And yet again, the Marines are going to lose their close extract. No, they just save it. They'll need a welder up here, though. I don't often see competitive players using welders. I feel like you just never see them. I don't know. What do you reckon, Nashi? Do you see them?
The problem is that it takes so much time away from actually doing, putting on pressure. Yeah. And actually doing something. Yeah. Well, welding is great, can be great, but it's just takes time, and especially welding players doesn't really work right now because it's so hard to really aim on the player. Yeah. It's a bit buggy.
It's surprising though, you'd expect that...
It also costs precious PRES, which you can spend on much more powerful shotguns.
It is surprising though, you'd expect that Marines would think, right, we could either lose that extractor, which they undoubtedly will in ventilation, it's going to take a skulk a few bites, and then take the time to rebuild it, or we could take a few seconds to weld it up a little bit for only 5 P-res instead of 10 team res, and no loss of res flow. So I am surprised to not see that happening, although I can understand the lack of individual welding of people. Interesting, these aliens avoiding that note because they are lurk and fade. They can't do a lot of damage to the structures. Instead, they're going to try and focus down the computer lab extractor. Tweets have not updated on NS2 for 14 hours? What? What? Excuse me, the frame rate's going to drop for a second. I'm going to check Twitter because that is very weird. We have definitely been tweeting. And I want to make sure that's not actually... Nope, I can see them. Okay. So our last tweet was 14 hours ago, but retweets of NS2HD are definitely up. Had me really worried there, guys. I was like, oh no! Our Twitter's broken. TweetDeck doesn't work anymore.
And again, Marines going for exactly the same game every time. Weapons 2 and then armor 2. It's
very interesting. There must be a critical number of shotgun blasts or something that's causing them to do that. I do not know. Aliens now...
Yeah, I don't know either.
Bile bomb is up. Natalie is destroying that extractor with Zups. And the Marines, again, getting crushed into their close positions. I mean, they're just getting pushed into this area. And eventually, I think we'll see them being pushed into this area. They'll lose these close extractors. And with that, I actually just drew a face. That's funny.
At least not a testicle again.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got to avoid that on the stream. Not ideal. Harvester almost going down in data core. It's got nutrient mist. You can see that whole cloud around it right now. It's sort of fuzzing in the middle. That's nutrient mist, and that was healing it up a bit. It's going to need a gorge on it, though, to really fix it up. Natalie goes in for a bile bombing run, and that's going to do quite a bit of damage. If you stack those, they do immense damage. Great marine pressure down towards summit reception, but it's just too long a supply line when you've got fades everywhere. And you can see these fades, they just jump in, jump out, and meanwhile another fade jumps in, jumps out, and then they rinse and repeat. So it's like, you've got no chance as Marines, especially with only armor level 1, against those fades jumping in and out.
Yeah. One thing I've noticed in the games that I think Exertus never ever had a gorge, while Archaea usually has one.
Interesting. I wonder why that is.
Oh,
I mean, especially with the new changes, you'd expect to see gorges.
Maybe they're just going for all-out pressure and thinking that's better than to spend time and one player on defensive stuff.
Maybe.
Or expanding yourself.
Oh, and here's the Onos coming in. Zups, and look at that! Those two Marines, they were sitting here, shooting at this Onos, and one Skulk came in from here, and one Fade came in from here, and it was just like, BAM! You are dead! That was insane. They went down so fast, and I think the aliens are now going to press in for the end game here. Although, oh, look at that, smacking Kharaa down. I think, oh, yep, there's the sale of the infantry portals. Archaea is tapping out. They're going to go in for a final defense. The Onos is here, so Yuki says he's turning his sound off. We are having some sound problems at the moment with the Onos.
Yuki taking out his axe. But Swipe just seemed to be a bit stronger than Axe.
Now, if Zups might actually get chased down here, although, no, TRC is going to come in and they're going to finish this off, and that is going to be GG. End of game. Scream, the last man standing in the command station. And the Marines will now finish this off. Armor 2 coming, says Scream. And that is going to be that for the Marines in this game. So that was a fun game. Again, getting pretty alien dominated. Scream just putting down the nano shield there just for fun. But 3 Oni are out of the field, and that is the end of that.